I've also been tasked with introducing the next speaker, whose only task is to introduce the speaker after him, so I'll make this brief. I could stand here and make fun of Colby Banbury for his bowl cut in middle school, or the fact that both his first and last name are brands of cheese. But I'd rather just say that it would be hard to find a better friend than him. Please welcome Colby Banbury.
Got to move it up because we're so short. Also, you shouldn't have brought up middle school days. We all know what you looked like. All right. So the reason I'm here is Mrs. Kummer, first in the green dress for all those who thought she was a student. In her short time here, Mrs. Kummer has had more roles than a bowling ball. Her first role was a young teacher that had the audacity to make poop jokes in class. Next, she was a tough grader that wasn't afraid to give freshmen their first speed English ever. Her popularity was immediately evident, and by the end of the first semester, she had taken on the role that she still occupies today, an excellent teacher and a vital part of our community. I can tell you firsthand that winning the admiration of someone you respect is difficult, but after years of hard work, Mrs. Kummer finally won ours. It's no easy task when you look like a student. Eventually, for many of us, Mrs. Kummer even transcended the role of a teacher and became a mentor, a confidant, and an advisor. She bridges the gap between the individual and the institution, the teachers and the students, the old and the new. She's become a fixture in our lives, and although today marks the end of her role as our teacher, it too marks the beginning of a more permanent role as our friend. Mrs. Kummer.
Belle from Beauty and the Beast came to my 6th birthday party. And this wasn't just any old Disney princess. She had talents that exceeded far beyond her effortless coquettishness and canary-like singing voice. My Belle could do magic. Rabbits came out of hats and dollars worth of coins went missing, only to be retrieved from behind other kindergartners' ears. She could paint faces. It was time to become anthropomorphized versions of jungle cats, farm animals, and butterflies. Graciously, because I was obviously the most egalitarian party host, I took my place at the end of the line and allowed my cousins, mom's friends, kids, and schoolgirls I only now see on social media to act as canvases first. Stereotypically, one after the other, wings of purple, pink, and yellow were placed on cherubic cheeks. Girl 1, a butterfly. Girl 2, a butterfly. Girl 3, thank you. Good guess. Belle did her best to vary the outcomes, but no girl there could see the previous butterfly float off the chair, glorious in all its glittery girliness, and choose something else. Then it was my turn. I flipped through the book of unicorns and rainbows and landed on the fiercest tiger I ever saw. It had piercing amber eyes and sharp vampire-like fangs, and I had to have it. I remember the mirror moment, the slow spin reveal, the anxious excitement. I was a tiger now. The orange and black stripes covered my entire face, and it isn't what you'd expect. I didn't feel disappointed or ugly or upset with my choice. I just scared myself to death. I was afraid of me because all of a sudden I didn't look 6 anymore. I was a tiger now. And what if tigers don't watch Mr. Rogers or live with their mommies and daddies or like coffee ice cream? If I was a tiger, then I couldn't be me. It was hard enough not being 5. I couldn't deal with 2 major changes at once. But what I couldn't see or understand then was that I was wrong. I wasn't a tiger. I just looked like one. Seniors, today feels like a slow spin turn, anxiously waiting to face the mirror. Today is a day marked by change, a day that you cannot believe has actually arrived. Whether you let it sink in or not, it's your birthday party too, and everyone's here watching as the paint goes on, your face becoming a canvas for the character you've chosen. And from what I've seen, you're already in good shape because instead of letting the kid in front of you steer your decision, you chose it for yourselves. Some of you may have chosen tigers or bulldogs or blue hens or knights or hawks or devils, and when it's all finished, you're going to have to spin around and face the mirror too. It's okay if you cry. Remember, it's not going to look like you right away. It's just the exterior that's changed. You're still you, but now you have the ability to become an even more awesome you. Right now, still a Tower Hill senior, you know who you are here. The exterior circumstances haven't changed much in many years. You've been stabilized by this place, by these people. Your parents, teachers, administrators, and friends have collectively helped you discover yourself, define yourself based on the surroundings, know what you want to be, what you don't want to be. What you're all doing is scary. At least it feels that way now. It feels like you are removing the structure you've gotten so used to and replacing it with something foreign, something altogether unfamiliar. What will it be like not to have Mr. Bacher strongly encourage you to speak louder during morning assembly announcements? What will it be like to enter school and not have Dr. Hickey greet you by name? What will you do when you need someone to join you to get another cookie at lunch, or fill up your water bottle, or walk with you to practice through the tunnel? But here's the thing. You aren't removing anything. You are just adding to it, putting a fresh new coat on it. You're just migrating to a new place that you've decided will challenge you in new ways, allow you to grow, while still highlighting what makes you, you. And don't worry, the thing about growing is that you won't feel it. It won't hurt. When you were asked on your 6th birthday or 10th birthday or 18th birthday if you felt any different than you did the day before, what was your response? Of course you felt no different. It's all relative. And just as you've become perfectly suited, perfectly complacent at Tower Hill, you too feel that it's time to go. And come to think about it, it isn't as if you haven't encountered fear or change right here. I know I certainly have. I had to walk into a high school classroom that wasn't mine 4 years ago at 23, being frequently mistaken for every blonde sitting there, and introduce myself to a room of 15 of you twice. Think about your fears here, how afraid you've been to ask for another scoop of avocado from the salad line, to walk past Mr. Wasco's room with a hoodie on, to lose your phone because after 4 different schedules, you have literally zero clue where you're supposed to be and when, but maybe that one's just me. You've been afraid to get tests back, ask someone to prom, tell your friend the truth when you know she didn't want to hear it. You've been afraid of rejection, of failure, of not getting back up. But in the face of all these fears, here you are, not sweating the small stuff. Here you are, wearing all white on a dais, under a tent, on a day that you never really thought would ever happen to you. You will turn around and face the mirror today, and you will look different afterwards. But don't be like me when I was 6. After 5 minutes of sobbing, my mom took a washcloth and rubbed that orange and black right off my face, and I wasn't a tiger anymore. Belle sat me back down and made me a stupid butterfly. And you know what? I regretted it back then, and I regret it now. I'm not kidding. I wish I could talk to myself back then. Let her know that it was her job to own that beast, to stand up on top of that table just like Hush Puppy from Beast of the Southern Wild did, flex her arms, growl, and say, I'm the man. Because don't forget what you've learned in English class. The external does not dictate the internal. You place the jar on the hill, not the other way around. #TimSchul. And now it's trending. You may have noticed a collective response to this John Steinbeck reference. At Tower Hill, they've learned that the academic is personal, that literature speaks as much to them as we spend time speaking about it. In East of Eden, Steinbeck recognizes that the free, exploring mind of the individual human is the most valuable thing in the world, and it is our responsibility to fight for this freedom. We mustn't sit and wait for others to lead the way, to set the path for others to blindly follow, for, as Steinbeck says, people like you to be something, preferably what they are. And what would the world be like if we settled for sameness, for complacency? Through TimSchul, we learn the responsibility is ours, the way is open, for if thou mayest, it is also true thou mayest not. In my 4 Horsemen elective, we study many existential philosophers who agree with Steinbeck. Jean-Paul Sartre believes that man is not the sum of what he has already, but rather the sum of what he does not yet have, of what he could have. You have the power to blaze your own trail, to define your future, to make meaning where there isn't any inherently. You can create, decreate, invent, and reinvent. Don't wait until later to take the bull by the horns, turn fear on its head, and redefine your enemy as your friend. There is no later. This is later. Over these 4 years, of course, you have learned a lot from your parents, your teachers, and your friends, but you're forgetting how much we have also learned from you. For me, you set the bar high as my firsts. You were my first 9th grade class, then my first 10th grade class, then my first elective class. I grew up with you just as you grew up with me. I've been misidentified as a student so many times that I'm not even sure whether or not I'm graduating. Luckily, I didn't wear white. We've spent more time together over these 4 years than apart. We've sat together both in and outside of class discussing our favorite things, our favorite experiences, and our favorite memories. We've recapped athletic competitions, both professional and personal. We've laughed and reminisced about early 2000s television. And we've reviewed, ranked, and recast just about every show and film from the last 30 years. The first film I remember watching was The Wizard of Oz. Maybe it wasn't the first film I ever saw, but watching it, I fused with Dorothy. I was seated next to her on the same emotional roller coaster, scared to death of the flying monkeys, heartbroken, watching the wizard float away, and euphoric, waking back up in Kansas, surrounded by all those who loved me, knowing all along that I was capable of completing the journey on my own. On this graduation day, I'm reminded of The Wizard of Oz because it's likely that maybe we all feel a little like Dorothy today, afraid of what's ahead, delighted to have finally arrived, and pretty darn sad to leave Oz. You can even picture your parents floating away like the wizard in actual hot air balloons, racing home to turn your bedrooms into media centers and workout studios. But this day is the first day of the rest of your lives. And as we wave goodbye to the class of 2015, the faculty, parents, and all those who were lucky to be part of this journey for the last 4 or more years can smile and know that we gave it all we had. We are proud to have known you, and we believe you'll take this adventure head on, proving to yourselves what we knew, that you had it in you all along. The Tin Man's heart, the Scarecrow's brain, the Lion's courage, and a character I've always thought was missing, the beast that wasn't afraid to be its fiercest self. So, as Dorothy said to her Scarecrow, and from me to my firsts, I think I'll miss you most of all. Thank you.